Check, check. I think we're live. Let me know if you can hear me or not hear me, please. It's hard to tell if people can see this stream yet or not because I set it to start at 1. If you can hear me, if you can see me, let me know. Check, check. Send it. Check, check. Can you hear me? Send it. It looks like you're the only one here at the moment. Nice. Okay. Send it. Where in the world are you? Nice. We got 3 viewers now. What's up, guys? Please say something in the chat so I can figure out who you are. Let me know where in the world you guys are at. Also, let me know if my mic sounds okay or if it sounds like it's poppy or blowing out or anything like that. Travel Time, welcome. Thanks for joining. Washington State, USA. Send it. What's up? Very cool. I've been almost to Washington. I used to live in Los Angeles, but would drive to the very tip of California once in a while for summer, just to go hang out with friends in camp and stuff like that. Haven't been to Washington yet. Holistic Hottie in the house. What's up? New York City. Wow. I would be very interested to hear about how New York City feels at the moment. I'm hearing different things from different people. Some people are saying New York City is like in ruins right now, but obviously that's not the case if you're chilling with us here. Singapore, travel time, very cool. I spent a month. I lived in Singapore for a month because my cousin was there. And man, do I love Singapore. I can't wait to get back there once travel restrictions open up. Went with my wife to Hong Kong and Taiwan and a bunch of places recently. And Singapore is the next on the list. My buddy just got married there too, so super looking forward to getting back there. Cody Pets in Minnesota. What's up, Cody? Moonboy? Yeah, what's up? Moonboy, where are you at? Coach Keith in Lancaster. Very cool. I went to school in Riverside, UC Riverside. Haven't spent loads of time in Lancaster, but I used to work for Target as a manager. And so I would like go around to different shops all in the Inland Empire and stuff like that. So that's very cool. Moonboy in Perth. Oh, very cool. Moonboy, have you ever heard of Surfer's Paradise? I found out about Surfer's Paradise and like, dude, I got to show you guys Surfer's Paradise. Let me see if I can get you on this other monitor. I found this place on the internet the other day. I was just reading an article and my jaw hit the floor. Surfer's Paradise sounds super amazing. It's not that close to Perth, but it's kind of like my dream world. Check it out. That's on the beach with surfers, dude. That's so amazing to me. Let me get that back to a more reasonable size for you guys. But man, I really want to get to Australia. East Coast. Very cool. Thank you, Moon Boy. What's on your guys' minds? What do you guys want to talk about? If you didn't notice yet, I moved my entire studio to another part of the building so you can see springtime outside. It is 1 p.m. here in Japan and super nice spring day. It's 11 degrees outside, 11 Celsius, which is, I don't know, 50 or something Fahrenheit. So loving this weather and wanted to share it with you guys instead of having the normal green wall with lights and the curtains closed behind me. 26 Shiad, aloha from Hawaii. What's up? Very cool. One of our staff here actually is from Hawaii. So we have Hawaii on our bucket list. We want to take the whole team there. Super love. I've been there before. Actually, have a very interesting life lesson about Hawaii for you guys. When I was in high school, my brother and my dad and I went jet skiing in Hawaii near Honolulu. We were in the ocean and I had to be 15 maybe. My brother was like 20 and we were all jet skiing in the middle of the ocean. Lots of people, but they basically have a dock in the middle where everybody like parks at the end of the time. And then there's like buoys going all the way around and you just kind of drive around clockwise or whatever it was, counterclockwise or whatever. And you're not supposed to get within like 100 feet or a couple hundred feet of each other. And basically I was stopped. My brother was stopped and we were shouting at each other, talking like, oh dude, this is so cool. Whatever. And then next thing I know, I'm pulling my head out of the water. Guy came flying like 30 miles an hour or something, came flying and smashed me. We both flew off and I didn't know what hit me, obviously. And next thing I know, I was pulling my head out of the water and this guy is like screaming at me, flaming, like about to kill me, dude. And the rescue team or whatever comes over, takes us all back to the docks. And this guy's like throwing beer bottles like, that little dumbass doesn't know what he's doing. Oh my gosh, he should pay for everything, kind of thing. And my brother was like, Trey wasn't moving, guys. This isn't how it works, kind of thing. Man, that was a terrible experience. Anyways, I want to go back to Hawaii and cover up all of that. 12 p.m. in Singapore. Very cool. Send It asks, do I have any thoughts for Palantir's demo day next week? I have a lot of thoughts. I don't really know what to expect, but one of the really interesting things that I have a lot of thoughts about demo day for next week, and I think there's a lot to look forward to. But one of the frustrating things about, let's say, compare Palantir to something like Apple or even something like Google or Amazon or Netflix, popular stocks that everybody knows about. The average Joe investor can figure out what they do. They can figure out how they make money, and they can even go and buy from these companies. A lot of what Google does is free, but you can still figure out ways to pay Google. But the average Joe can't do that with Palantir. They can't figure out, what does Palantir really do? Can I try them out? Is this something that could benefit me? And it's very much like not like that. All Palantir does is, or a lot of what they do is clandestine. A lot of what they do is like behind the scenes of behind the scenes. And they're going to be providing really, really, really big value. Actually, sorry, I had my screen share with you guys. I did want to talk about one of the, where was it? Palantir, here we go. National Nuclear Security Administration for 5-year, $90 million contract for Safer project. It seems like there's deals coming out like this every day for Palantir. Let's go to the newsroom, press releases. Yeah, here's that project, $90 million. Long-term strategic partnership with Faurecia Embark. Nobody's ever heard of them. Palantir and 3M expand relationship to build dynamic supply chain. These aren't really things that the average Joe will be like, oh, awesome, I want to invest in that company because they're helping Phoenicia embark with a long-term strategic partnership. It's like, these aren't things people can get. And so Palantir is realizing, if we're going to do this as a public company, we need to train the public to be able to understand what we even do and how we even provide value. You know what I mean? So I'm really interested to see how they pull that off. They did come out with like a little medical type of video. Actually, let me switch the camera back so you can actually see me. They did come out with like a little, this is how we're helping in medical services type video recently, which I think I saw a lot of hype on Reddit. People were like, oh my gosh, Reddit's so cool. Or not Reddit, Palantir's so cool. This is so awesome. And it's like, yeah, that's what they do kind of thing. But I think Palantir are realizing that they need to become more, they need to get better at presenting and marketing and making people feel things. You watch any Apple commercial or any good commercial really anyway for whatever product, and it always touches your heart. It touches your emotions. It grabs your attention like that. And that's like really hard to do when it's like a lot of what they do is like giving out vaccines or sorry, not giving out vaccines, but helping National Health Service in the UK to do their vaccine program, or clandestine stuff, or shutting down, helping the ICE to manage the southern border with Mexico and things like that. On the contrary, a lot of these, if they brought it up and even tried to play it off in a way that was touchy-feely or tried to move you, there would be half the country who's like, oh my gosh, you guys are so terrible because you're stopping immigration and stuff like that. So Palantir needs to be really tricky and really wise about the way they present what they do and the way they show potential investors, hey guys, this is how we're going to grow our stock price. This is how we're going to provide value for you guys going forward. Does that make sense? What do you guys think about Palantir's demo week coming up? Tim C, what's up? Yeah, trying live streaming. I had my first one yesterday, but it was silly because I was trying to, I was just like trying to figure out how to do it. And I actually was like live streaming, and then like 30 people joined, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I guess we'll just do this. So I just talked for an hour. Didn't have any water around. I was standing up and just did it. Worked out all right, but moved the setup down so you guys can actually have a decent view, and so I can sit, because that's pretty nice to be able to sit and talk with you guys. Moonboy, yeah, he was a charming character. He almost threw me in the ocean. Guys, by the way, couple comments, couple of housekeeping notes for you guys. I'm trying to figure out more about who you guys are, what kind of stocks are interested in. There's kind of like a vocal majority of people who will vote in the different, like I put out polls a few times a week. There are people who will comment in the comment section and stuff like that. Let me know here in this live stream if you're like, hey, I don't know anything about this company and I want to, just throw up a comment there. The more comments, the better. The more information, the better. Also, if you want to help us and support us with what we're doing with this channel, there are super chats too. Down on the bottom, there is a little dollar mark or a yen mark that you can hit to send donations. Those will be greatly appreciated as well. Tolus Notes, what's up? Long time no talk. Patrick Boyer, TTCF. Yeah, I was looking at some TTCF stuff. Let me open that up for you guys. Back to the desktop. I was just interested to see this. Tattooed Chef debuts commercials in national ad campaign. That's one of the things that's advertising is always a little bit tricky. It's always a little bit complicated because it costs so much and doesn't always necessarily return what what you're hoping for. It says down here, commercials, they animate ingredients with live motion cinematography of the company's top selling products, including cauliflower crust cheese pizza, Mexican style street corn, cauliflower mac and cheese, organic acai bowl, and veggie hemp bowl. Veggie. It is the first of its kind with a curated custom sound mnemonic using an antique tattoo coil gun. the sharpening of chef knives, and an array of percussions. So it sounds like they're making some fun commercials that are either 6 or 15 seconds. And they're hoping to reach over 80 million people. And I think that's brilliant. I'm excited about that. Tattooed Chef seems to be the kind of company providing not only a great product for a reasonable price, but also combining it with value, like a group of, or targeting people who have strong values when it comes to plant-based and when it comes to the environment and things like that. And I've had people comment in the comments section. One guy said, meat almost took my life, and now I'm like basically vegan, I think he was saying. And now I'm all about plant-based food. Everybody please eat plants. But there are also a lot of people, like I have a lot of friends back in California, especially, who were like super vegan for a long time, or they were like vegans or vegetarian for a long time, and then they pulled back. Now they eat fish and eggs and stuff here and there. But I think there's a need definitely in the market. I think it's a super competitive market for sure. But there is a need, and people are starting to figure out, like, how can I eat conveniently for a decent price? Conveniently meaning like relatively quickly for a decent price without, sacrificing quality or my health or the environment or things like that. And yeah, there's crazy amounts of competition in this space, but it sounds like when Tattoo Chef gets in the door of a supermarket, the amount of SKUs, the amount of space they're given continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And so I think that's, it sounds like sales, the number of sales isn't really a problem. It's more just recognition. And once you start getting recognition in this space, then other supermarkets are like, oh, dude, we have to start carrying them, or people are going to go to Target where they can buy it rather than coming to our supermarket. Yeah. So it'd be really interesting to see how this ends up working out. It might be one of those deals where it's not a super duper quick, we put out a bunch of commercials and spend millions of dollars, and all of a sudden we're making jillions of dollars or something like that, because you have to figure out the supply chain and production. And my understanding is that they don't have really, really, really huge production yet. So this is just all part of scaling. So I got my Jim Beam water glass and I have some coffee too. Yvonne says, would love to see more educational type videos in your process for analysis. Thank you very much for that. I would like to do more videos like that, but one of the tricky things in the YouTube space is that if you don't make stuff that's really searchable, nobody cares. And so, or if you only have a couple of educational videos, all of the people who've been coming to me for Palantir and Tattooed Chef and Nokia and Dropbox are like, dude, I already know what a PE ratio is, kind of thing, So what I'm thinking about doing is actually putting together like a little program or a course for like, I don't know, $20 or something like that, that will walk through kind of the basics of how to analyze a stock, how to figure out the, what's the word? I keep forgetting English, man. That's the hard thing about being in Japan. The sentiment, that's the word I'm looking for. The sentiment towards a stock, and market or management kind of like outlook, and also like a discounted cash flow model type stuff. All that is very important to look at. So thank you for that feedback, Yvonne. Tim C., I am indeed interested in Tattooed Chef. I've owned Tattooed Chef for a while now, hence my videos on it and stuff like that. Are you guys in Tattooed Chef? Let me know in the comment section. Coinbase IPO. I haven't actually looked into the Coinbase IPO because There's so many different things happening in this segment of the market right now. Um, let alone with, actually, let me check my crypto right now, because last I checked, I know not a lot of you guys are super into Ripple XRP, but it was blowing up the last couple of days. It's $1.03 now. It was like 40 cents a couple of days ago, I think. So that's pretty cool. But stopped going up. So anyways, back to the Coinbase question. What do you guys think about Coinbase? I really wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going up, because there are not a lot of really easy to use crypto brokerages in the US right now, especially. Let's get you guys onto my screen over here. And one of the problems I have, especially as an American, is that, like I was just talking about Ripple, all of a sudden you couldn't trade Ripple anymore because they were debating if it is if it's a security or not. And the SEC was going after Ripple. So I'm like, dude, I have all this Ripple that I've had for years. What do I do? So now I work with an exchange in the UK. So that's how I solved that problem. But what do you guys think about the Coinbase IPO? It says the offering takes place next week under Coin. Moonboy says Coinbase will be super overvalued. Better to buy Bitcoin. Going back to Tim C about the tattooed chef, we were just talking a minute ago about whether or not these commercials will pay off. I've yet to find any of their products in my local Target, Costco, and Sprouts, and I'm in LA. That is not what I want to hear, because I'm also from LA. But you would think that if they were going to be selling it anywhere, it would be in LA. But one of the interesting things, like I was talking to somebody in the comment section the other day who worked at Costco, and what product were we talking about? They were saying, yeah, we just started selling that product at our Costco and it's doing really well. It might have been Tattooed Chef something or other. But I'm in a private equity deal with a company called Genius Juice. Let me pull that up for you guys. Genius Juice is like super delicious, dude. And coconut smoothies right here. Coconut smoothies made out of 100% coconuts from Thailand, and it's organic, and it's really, really creamy. They don't add any other stuff. It's not the cheapest drink because it's organic. But yeah, so actually my really good friend from middle school, high school, made this company. His name's Alex, and it's blowing up now. And the crazy thing is that they started to get into Target, or not Target. They started in Whole Foods, and then they started to get into a bunch of other chains. I think they're in Sprouts and stuff. And then Costco started talking with Costco, and Costco said, okay, we're going to demo you and try you out in a few stores in the LA area and a bunch of other places in the Midwest. And I'm like, my understanding, like, I had a bunch of family in Colorado, and it seems like in LA, people need to try really hard to stay in shape. You need to spend so much money to eat healthy. You need to like have a really crazy schedule to be able to exercise and stuff like that. Whereas in Colorado, everybody's just like running in the mountains and fighting bears all the time anyways. So they don't need to like try. And so I was like, it doesn't seem like premium health products would sell well in the Midwest. And there are a lot of states that are way less healthy than Colorado anyways. But I guess what they're testing is like, if it can sell here, it can sell anywhere. And so maybe on the flip side, not only is shelf space in the LA area probably more competitive because everybody wants to be in LA, Tim, but I think if they are doing demo testing, market testing in other places, and they find out, wow, we can even sell this health food stuff in a state where nobody cares about their health, or the average weight is like very, very a lot higher than California, then probably we'll be able to sell it in California no problem. I wonder if anybody's in like, food supply chain stuff. Let me know in the comment section. Sorry about that. That was probably pretty gross. Vegas Vince, do you think in Japanese? That would kind of surprise me. Yeah, I think you'd be surprised. I do all of my videos in English, but a lot of the day I'm with Japanese people. My staff, mostly Japanese. My wife's Japanese. We have a bunch of roommates because we have this big house where we all live together, which is a whole other topic, I guess. We could talk about real estate and all that stuff too if you guys want. But yeah, I find myself thinking in Japanese a lot, or sometimes sentences will come out in half-half, which is super jacked because the grammar structure is opposite in English and Japanese. So, but yeah. Let's see what else is going on in the comment section. Guys, I mentioned a few minutes ago, if you want to support the channel more, there's a super chat function now activated at the bottom of the chat box. We would appreciate that very much. Let's see what else is going on. Cody Pets with 370 shares of Tattooed Chef. Very good. That's what I like to hear. Keegan Webster, thank you for coming again. Yeah, I'm trying to sprinkle out the different time slots because I'm in a really weird spot. Most of my audience is not in this time zone. We have a very small percentage of viewers who are in this time zone. So if I do it in the middle of the day right now, it's kind of the worst time because North Americans are going to bed and Europeans are just waking up. So I probably need to also run live streams at like 9 p.m. here and see what happens. I kind of didn't really actually talk much about the Coinbase stuff, so give me a second. Let's look at this article on Coinbase on investorplace.com. I have no idea if this is a reputable site or not. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comment section. Taking a break for my voice for a sec. That's cool to see that Coinbase is planning a direct listing rather than doing it one of the other ways. I like that. It's more work for Coinbase, but it inflates their stock price much less than something like a SPAC would. One of the recent criticisms of all these SPACs going on is that the people who are most heavily involved in the SPAC guaranteed to automatically make a huge amount of money. And it's similar when you do a listing through an investment bank. And so doing a direct listing often ends up being cheaper, more complex and annoying for the company itself. But I think it ends up better for the investors, I think. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on that too. Interesting. They don't know how many shares will be for offer, so they don't know how much the market cap will be. Yeah. Since Bitcoin's now 58 grand, that sets Coinbase to generate plenty of revenue from transaction fees. That's another thing I was talking about briefly yesterday. Somebody was asking me about what my thoughts are on Bitcoin, if I think the price is sustainable, what role crypto plays in my portfolio. Bitcoin has become a very big part of my portfolio, not by my own like strategizing or reading the future or anything like that. I'm just like, this is probably going to get big, so I'll get some. But as far as the utility goes and moving it around and actually doing transactions with it, it's like pretty insane how expensive transaction fees are. So Coinbase is going public at a very good time for Coinbase to make a lot of money. I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Nice. They're also offering Cardano trading, but only for people with Coinbase Pro. What crypto exchanges do you guys use? I'm especially interested in non-Americans, but Americans, let me know too. Moonboy saying Coinbase would probably be listed about 100 billion. Keegan Webster says Coinbase is a great website to use all around. It's a very Facebook look to it, which I think people like for sure. Yeah. Keegan, thanks for looking up at. I think you're talking about Genius Juice rather than Tattooed Chef stuff. I don't know. I don't think it's $50 for a 6-pack, unless that 6-pack is like a 2-liter bottle or something like that. But, yeah, guys, let me know what's on your mind in the comment section. We can keep a conversation going. I'm here to communicate with you guys. I'm super interested to hear, like, Moonboy, what do I think of the eToro SPAC? Thank you for that question. I've never actually looked into it, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. Educate me a little bit. I don't know anything about eToro. Well, I know a little bit about it. I think it's a place where people can do, you could be like your own hedge fund manager kind of thing. Travel Time uses Binance. Travel Time, I believe, is in Singapore. They have Dogecoin. Moonboy says, I think eToro's copy trader is pretty cool. I see some big YouTubers can connect with their portfolio by allowing them to copy their portfolio. Interesting concept. Yeah. So my impression of that, I don't know if this is like the legally correct way of describing it, because technically running a hedge fund, you probably have to have all these, background checks or whatever it is, and a lot of other oversight on you. Hence the whole Archegos thing not being an actual hedge fund, but being a family fund. So I think, eToro is interesting because it's like, a lot of people might want to copy my portfolio if I'm open to them copying that. It's hard for me to put myself in place of somebody who would use eToro to copy another portfolio, because I'm like all about doing my own portfolio. But I also wouldn't want people being like, oh, can I join your portfolio and copy it? Because then I feel like we probably don't have the same financial goals. We probably don't have the same tax situation and all that stuff. So I don't really know how that works, nor how they make money. Jay Chung asking, you going to do daily live streams? Do you want me to do daily live streams? Because I wouldn't mind doing daily live streams. I think I need to get better at a few of the technical things, but I did move my entire office setup over here so you guys can see springtime outside the window. Springtime in Japan. Let me know if you guys like live streams. I know not a lot of people do. Like, I ran a poll. All my other polls are like, hey guys, how much do you invest? Hey guys, like, what cryptos do you like? And I'll get like 500, 600, 700 responses. I did a poll yesterday about live streaming, and I got like 70 replies. So I think live streaming is like a very small thing. And if I were to do it, obviously my video output would have to go down for my other videos too. So yeah, I think unless you're really, really huge, it's hard to make a living off of live streaming probably. But let me know if you guys are interested in that. Tolis Notes sounds like a bad idea, copying the portfolio. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people, I think, who are just kind of like, I don't know anything about stocks, and I know you like talk about stocks, so can I like just do what you do? Do it for me, please, kind of thing. And I guess if people are just really super duper clueless and they like love me unconditionally and won't murder me if I lose them a bunch of money, or if their portfolio's down big time, like if they joined 2 weeks ago, it would probably be down big time. Yeah. if they trusted me and they could forgive me for that and they had the right perspective, then I would let them. But I don't know really. Okay, Moonboy's answering. If you have enough people copying, you earn 2% of your AUM from eToro. Potentially big money. Wow, that's interesting. Jay Chong, 2-3 times a week. Moonboy, personally, I wouldn't copy him. Yeah, interesting. I wonder what a big number of people, if you have enough people, is to earn 2%. And then I wonder if somebody was like super big time and making like millions or tens of millions of dollars off of people just investing in them. Like, let's say a Kathy Wood, next generation Kathy Wood, just went big on eToro. How do they sidestep the requirements of being a hedge fund and all that stuff? I'd be interested to learn about that. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on that. Also, let me know if you guys have questions about like life in Japan or my businesses or whatever. Personal stuff is cool to talk about too. Jay Chung, can you keep your streams up after? Like to watch a double speed. Yeah, I will do that. The reason I didn't do it yesterday was because I wasn't actually intending to stream it yesterday. It was just kind of like testing the mic and testing the lighting and stuff like that. And then I ended up like 30 people came in. And so I was just kind of like, okay, I guess we'll do it, guys. But the lighting was like, I watched the video afterwards and I looked like I was like super high because the lighting was all jacked and the color correction was all jacked and stuff. And it was a little bit disorganized. So what I'm going to do is probably chop it up into like mini clips, whether they're shorts or just like a 2 to 3 minute little kind of thing. I'll chop that up for you guys, and maybe just leave the live streams available too. Thanks for that feedback, Jay Chong. Tolis Note says, hey Moonboy, I guess he's talking about eToro. Think about some of the YouTubers that have been pushing illiquid stocks. They can get a rally going with little to no volume. But what happens when the selling starts? Yeah, it's interesting looking at even stocks like Jeremy talks about Planet 13 all the time, which is an herb stock. And it's a very small company. I think, let's see, stocks. It is market cap 1.2 billion. So even just a little bit of action sends the stock price moving like pretty dramatically. And there's a lot of prospects in the company and I'm excited about the company, and I'm probably going to be doing a video soon about the company too. But yeah, I wonder how, if let's say Jeremy made an eToro and then 300,000 people subscribed, and then he's automatically moving everybody's money into like little companies like this. Doesn't that just make it go crazy? Like, I'd be really interested to see how that works. Tyler Walsh asking, not too sure what you do professionally outside of YouTube. Thank you, Tyler, and welcome. I do a lot of things. Run a bunch of companies, do some real estate stuff, some internet web development stuff. We're building an app right now. I run a couple of share houses, which is like a common thing in Japan where people just live together in a big house. And you share the family room and stuff like that, but you have your own private room, and have a couple of those. I live in one with my wife upstairs and then 3 other guys downstairs. And it's just so fun to be living in community like that. Also, going back to that app, we're building an app that will help traders manage insider trading and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be able to get a beta test up sometime soon. And I would love to invite you guys to check out that beta test and get your feedback on it once the ball gets rolling on that app. And what else do we do? I used to teach English. That's actually how I got to Japan. But it wasn't like I've always been a teacher, and then that led me to Japan. It was more like I used to be in retail management, and then I was in insurance sales. I was an agent for insurance and all this different stuff. And then it was just kind of like, I gotta go to Japan. Like, I've never been to Asia. My family's not a big international traveling family, but one day I woke up and it was just kind of like, oh man, I gotta go. I gotta take this opportunity. And there was an opportunity to just go teach English in Japan. And it was for 1 or 2 or 3 years. And then I came, checked it out, loved it, got married actually the second year. And I haven't left. I've, been back to the US and stuff like that and traveled around the world to various places, but not actually moved anywhere else. So that's what I do now. Check it out. I'll show you guys desktop. This website, I've talked about this in a couple of my other videos, JapanWiFiBuddy.com. We rent out pocket Wi-Fi devices for people coming to Japan. So you come to Japan, you get off the airplane, you go to the post office in the airport and pick up your package from us and turn it on. And now that's broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal, and you connect your computer, laptop, and all your phones in your group to it. And now you're connected to the internet. So that was our main really big business, small business that became kind of a big deal until the pandemic started and tourism shut down. So after that shut down, that freed up our schedule. And I was like, yes, I can finally start YouTube now, kind of thing. So that's still operating very much on the back burner, though, because of travel being shut down and stuff. So that's kind of that's a little bit of what we do. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for asking, Tyler. Jay Chong, I like the full streams. Okay, gotcha. Chrysalis, speaking of Sprouts, what do you think of their stock? Solid growth, very low valuation. Not the most exciting stock, but could be a good value play. Interesting. I didn't even know they were public. Do you know what is the stock ticker? SFM? I'm guessing. Sprouts Farmers Market. Switch it back over to the desktop. Or not. So, 3 billion market cap. Looks like it's really new. Oh, what? Super not new. Okay. Weird. Wow, it used to be almost $50 in 2013. Dude, I didn't even know Sprouts was a thing until recently. Interesting. That'd be worth looking into, maybe. Julio Vega, welcome. Thanks for your question. Any updates on your thoughts of Desktop Metal or any other 3D printing companies? No updates. No updates, really. But I'm still in Desktop Metal. I actually got into the print. What is it called? ETF from ARC, which is this one, the 3D printing ETF. Wow, look at that. Let's go. 6 months. Yeah, so I got into print. When I did the Desktop Metal video, I was kind of like, I know it sounds like Desktop Metal is the fastest. It sounds like they might be on the way to pushing out worldwide sales and worldwide production this year. So I'm excited about it, but I also understand that it's very volatile. So adding print is kind of a way to offset that volatility a little bit and also not miss out on everything else that's going on in that whole market in case Desktop Metal ends up not hitting home for me. But yeah, I'm still in Desktop Metal. It's one of those companies that I think doesn't have enough power going around or enough manpower going around to be able to be constantly updating us on like, hey, this new partnership, hey, we sold this many things to Japan, hey, we figured out this new polymer thing. Like, there's not a lot of that. And then even like their quarterly report was like 4 weeks late or something like that. Like, I kept checking all these different websites, and I actually filmed a full video for you guys. And then I was like, next week when their quarterly earnings comes out, I'll finish this video. And then I thought it would be next week because all the websites were like, yeah, according to history, it should be this week. And then, wait another week, and then another week, and then another week. And me and my friends who were in DM were kind of like, dude, what the heck? Like, is this even legal? So finally it came out. And yeah, so when that came out is when I redid the whole video basically, which was the one that I released a couple weeks ago for you guys. Hope that answers your question, Julio. Let me know if you guys have thoughts about 3D printing or desktop metal. Moonboy, I hold a small position in eToro. I like that they're a competitor to Robinhood, but growing globally, not just in the US. I think any competition for Robinhood is good. I strongly dislike Robinhood, and I strongly was disappointed in the whole GME thing. But also their lack of transparency in a lot of different things has been something that I don't like, so being able to see competitors growing and also providing new cool things like eToro's main sales feature sounds like a pretty exciting thing for the market and will ultimately, I think, be a win for investors. JPL, what's up? Everybody, I want to introduce you to JPL, my homie, longtime homie. Moonboy, you got a Zoom meeting. Thank you for coming. Tyler, no problem. Tolis, 9:30 p.m. here in LA. Thank you very much for coming. Wovi, how long do you think it will take for the 3D printing revolution to really kick off? Right now, it's ready, but what is your opinion in how long it might take for the companies to start adopting 3D printing? It's really interesting. I think my understanding of what Desktop Metal is saying for this year, 2021, is that there could be an explosion. There could be things blowing up. And not only in terms of like more companies are actually using their machines to print stuff locally, but internationally. And then I imagine those are going to start actually replacing their factories or their previous supply chains using like full-time Desktop Metal's machines. And so I'm very hopeful for 2021 starting to impact, dude. And it's really interesting to consider a lot of the tension that's going on with China right now too. We're seeing here in Japan a lot more government support saying, hey, big company that does a lot of manufacturing in China will pay for you to relocate back to Japan or to relocate to Vietnam or Cambodia or these different places. And so I don't know if there's a whole lot of that going on in the US right now, but there's a lot of international tension with China, who happens to be doing a lot of the manufacturing. And if we end up seeing more tension increasing between different countries, especially between Biden and Xi Jinping, I think inevitably that's going to be like, that phrase, rising tide, like lifts all the ships. I think that will be one of those things where it's like, wow, it's really, really hard to ship in and out of China right now. Or, wow, I really don't want to be supporting the CCP right now. So let's manufacture in a different way. Hey, Desktop Metal allows us to manufacture in our own garage. Awesome. Let's do that kind of thing. So that's one of the things I think, even though war and trade wars and international disputes are not awesome, obviously. I'm speaking like we've had missiles shot at us from North Korea over the last few years here too. One actually went over us where we're at, which is crazy. But yeah, so I don't like thinking about war and all that stuff, and I don't want it to end in that. But if we see more economic pressure, it might end up being really nice for 3D printing companies, which is why I'm quite heavy into them. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Wovi, does that sound like something you agree with? I haven't yet looked at X1 or DDD, but like I just mentioned, I'm in the print PRNT ETF, which contains both of those, as far as I know, unless things have changed. But travel time, use pocket Wi-Fi when you visited Japan. Excellent. Please try us next time. Hope you get to come back soon. Guys, let me know down in the comment section what's on your mind. If there's anything you'd like to know about me, or if there's anything you'd like us to know about you. One of the neat things about this is that, like, a lot of times when I release a video, it's the middle of the night here in Japan. And then I wake up 6 hours later and I have like 50 comments in the video. So it's hard to be getting to know you individually. But one of the cool things about live chat is that we get to know each other a little bit more. So let me know. Cool. Wovi agrees with me about 3D printing. I'm excited about that. Any of you guys in 3D printing? Whether it's, X1 or DDD or desktop metal or something else. Julio Vega, thanks for answering. No problem. Yeah, I have a really small position in DM, and lately I averaged down a bit. There are quite a few other companies, but felt like DM had a good upside. Print ETF is a good idea, though. Yeah, I haven't looked at the fundamentals yet for other companies, but it felt like DM, especially after their price basically got slashed in half over the last few weeks. But check it out here. We have, let's do a 3-month. Yeah, so we hit peak at 33.50, and then we're still down at 15, so more than half. And it's one of those stocks where it's like, if they can pull off everything the management is saying they can, I think we're going to be in for a good ride coming up in the coming couple of years. That was the highest they hit, 33.50, and definitely that was like bonkers, way overpriced kind of thing. And they're not the kind of company that has super huge cash flows or anything like that, because on the contrary, they're cranking all their money back into R&D and I think more marketing and stuff now too, which is exciting to see. Wovi, 15 and graduating from high school. I just love investing. That's super cool, Wovi. Thanks for sharing. I'm very glad. I wish when I was in high school, I had the resources that you had to learn about investing and to even be able to invest. I actually didn't start investing probably until I was 22, probably. And so you have a very, very big head start on the generation that's one generation up from you. And obviously, the longer you're in the market, even if you're not, making crazy deals, even if it's just 7% average, 5 or 7 or 9% per year, you have an extra 10 or 15 years on most investors, which gives you the greatest advantage and can allow you to be able to, reach that freedom level, FU money level, much earlier than probably a lot of people can. So keep it up, Wovi. That's very cool. Thanks for sharing. Guys, let me know more about you guys. Razvan, what's up? Volkswagen and Porsche. I've checked here and there. I haven't actually done any due diligence on it. But I know that it was sorry. I know that it was super duper beat down. What is the right stock ticker? I think it was VW. Let's just do this. Volkswagen. Is it Vwaggy? That's over the counter. Let me know which one you guys are looking at. I think they all kind of just reflect each other. Doesn't make that big of a difference, but yeah, I want to look more into it because it's one of those tricky things where it's like I'm a hardcore testable. I have a crush on Tesla, and I will own a Tesla soon, at some point. And like Kathy Woods often says, I think when it comes to autonomous driving especially, it's going to be winner takes most. And that's kind of why I'm not super interested in looking at Neo or Air, whatever it's called, that other American one, or Workhorse or things like that, because Tesla is just so, even if you just look at Toyota, who is like the biggest in the world, arguably it goes back and forth between Volkswagen and Toyota, but yeah, I think Volkswagen seems to be putting out some quality stuff, and I'm really interested to see, because obviously they have the output, they have the production capability way more than a smaller company like Tesla, but where most manufacturers are locked or bottlenecked is batteries. And as battery technology advances, the gap is going to get bigger and bigger. And my understanding of Tesla's newest batteries is that they don't require a whole lot of crazy rare earth minerals and stuff like that, but I'm not sure if other manufacturers have figured out how to do that yet. I know ranges are going up, and we just saw an article about the new Hummer, I think it was, talking about 400 miles or whatever. Let's check it out. Hummer EV. That's pretty good looking. Up to 830 horsepower. Buy now. When you see numbers like that, it makes you want to click. That's a good looking interior. It's like a far cry from previous Hummers. My friend has a Hummer in Japan, dude. It's so absurd. I'm like, dude, how do you get around? Because there are major streets that are like American streets, but and the Hummer was originally built for off-road and stuff like that. But when you go downtown to the more crowded areas or red light district or whatever, it's like he's like scraping his side view mirrors on the buildings and on people's heads as he's driving by. It's so absurd. But anyways, he's a mechanic, and he just has endless problems with his Hummer. Not to say that, this new Hummer EV is going to have similar type problems, but not seeing anything about the range. But one of the things, like I was saying, available crab walk, that's dope. Oh, here it is. 300-mile range. Estimated 300-mile range. And compared to the Cybertruck, I believe the top grade Cybertruck is going to be something like 500 miles. And they're saying this Hummer is going to be available early 2023, which probably means late 2023, which I imagine the Cybertruck will already be out by then. They're saying kind of like 2022-ish, something like that. Maybe even the first models coming out the end of this year. So yeah, it all comes down to the batteries. And if you're battery locked, you can't really start cranking that much on other things, So even if you have the whole supply chain and everything figured out too, So Razvan saying Volkswagen is actually the leader in EV sales worldwide, and Porsche owns 50% of Volkswagen. Yeah. That's I agree with that, and I'm going to be like, I have the first generation Leaf, and I can drive like 70 miles or something stupid in it. But for where we're at in Japan, the furthest I ever go in one day is like 20 miles, because our cities in Japan are just really compact. So it works out to be a really good deal. We bought it for a crazy deal, basically new, for like half price. And it's totally paid off for us, which is excellent. And Nissan sold a lot of those, and now obviously Nissan's newest EVs have much greater range, and they're talking about the Adia and that little SUV that's kind of like a Model Y and stuff like that. We're going to see a lot more advance from all the different makers coming up, and yeah, I don't know how Volkswagen's, like, one of the problems with the Porsche. What was the Porsche EV? Taycan. Everybody was like, it's a dope car, but it just doesn't have enough range at the price that it's at, so it's stupid to compare it to a Tesla kind of thing. if you're really, really into Porsche or really, really into the style or whatever, then, or you just have money, flowing out of your ears, then it's cool. But as a bang for buck proposition, it's kind of foolish to compare it to the Teslas. And that's kind of like what I feel like might continue to be the case for Volkswagen. And now that Tesla is going to start producing in Germany, I'm going to be really interested to see how the bang for buck kicks in, and if you can get a similarly spec Model 3 that's the same price as a Volkswagen, but you can drive 100 extra miles, like a lot of people are going to go for the Tesla, I think. I don't know how much, nationalism and supporting your own country's product plays in Europe and stuff like that. Julio Vega, I can't remember the last time I saw a Hummer out on the road. Yeah, seriously. Imagine how it is in Japan. I think I've seen 2 or 3 Hummers in the last year. And they're usually like super lifted, super like testosterone vehicles kind of thing. Razvan, we still went to talking about cars. Tell us about what cars you like. If you had a certain car you liked when you were young. Yeah, I could talk about cars all day, but I don't know if that's the most helpful for everybody. First car was a Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, which I loved, and I drove a Celica GTS 6-speed with 8,300 RPM fuel cut, which was really fun. And WRX. In Japan, we have a Legacy twin turbo, which I drove for a while and loved. Don't know why they didn't have that one in America. Now I have a Subaru Forester STI, which also doesn't exist in America. Have a Nissan Leaf, and I've driven a few other cars. I had a Mazda RX-8, which was cool. And I love Teslas. I love like every car. I just love cars. And there are very few cars where I'm like, that car sucks, it's stupid, don't buy it kind of thing. So part of me is sad about the oncoming, EV wave. But at the same time, like I drive my Leaf, and most people don't look at a Leaf as a fun car. But when you just floor it and it's like whoosh, and chirping the tires kind of thing, it's like actually EVs can be pretty fun, even in really low speed situations like most of Japan's streets. So there's kind of trade-offs, but I drive an old school Subaru with the Boxer rumble, big ass turbo and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know if I would ever want to sell this car, but then at the same time, I know in 10 or 20 years, it's going to be really, really hard to get parts for it and maintain it. And it might just be stupid to be like, dude, I have to go like once a month to put this liquid in my car, and then twice a year to like change the oil. Like that's so archaic and expensive and stupid, like compared to the electric reality. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my thoughts about cars going on. Razvan fell in love with Toyota recently. Very cool. Yeah, Toyota is great. Razvan, I don't know if you saw my Tesla video that I just released. Let me get it up here for you. A couple days ago. I was talking a lot about how huge Toyota is in Japan and why Tesla actually needs Toyota. I will send you the link right here. Boom. John Miller, I own a toy hobby business in the USA. We primarily sell Japanese toys that we import from Asia. There's a big market for Japanese toys and anime worldwide. Oh, I know. And if you need somebody on the Japan side to help you with sourcing stuff or whatever, let me know. I know so many people who just like, you go into their house and it's like every One Piece toy ever, forever, like as far as your eye can see, or Gundams or whatever it is, yeah. Thanks for sharing about that, John. Going back up to Keegan Webster. What do you think of companies like Comma AI and Luminar Technologies in the autonomous driving space? Luminar Tech is another Peter Thiel investment. Have you read 0 to 1 before as well? 0 to 1 is actually on my reading list. I respect Peter Thiel a lot, and I like the way he thinks a lot. I think I prefer reading books from him than watching him speak for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's on my reading list, and I'm going to read it soon. So I'm excited about that. I haven't done a whole lot of research into Comma AI or Luminar. Let me know what you like about them. But I guess again, whoops, did I lose you guys? One second. Weird. Looks like I lost my camera for some reason. Super don't know what to do in this situation. I'm going to stop the stream for a second, start it back.